Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. I'd like to share with you a little snippet of a video that I found online, just by chance. It's on Japan, this section here. And again, what I'm to share with you is not to mock, deprecate a people, but it's to share with you through my experience how someone could get an impression about somebody else and then discover some validity in what I had to say, what I thought, my impression. It's actually very sad. And it targets something in my own heart. See, I'm not trying to point a finger at someone without also pointing a finger at myself. Yes, I include myself in this, and I'm sad about that. But I rather be truthful in my emotions, so you understand where I'm coming from and why I'm sharing this. This snippet that I'm going to share with you, it's really about all of us and not just Japan. But I want to just preface this before I show you the video, just to get some background information before I show you and really emphasize what I'm really getting at. But when I shared part of this information before, a couple of videos back, couple of months back, about Japan. My folks had a lot of books when I was a little child. And I remember one of the books, I think it was Time Life magazine. They had these series of books about different countries. And one of the books that I looked at as a child, I could have been maybe 6 or 7 years of age. I really didn't know how to read, and I loved to look at the pictures. Yes, 6, 7 years of age, and like looking at pictures. Yes, I do. I'm very visual. And this book on Japan, as I was turning the pages, and again, I've never, at that age, I've never seen people from Japan or East Asia at that time. I just saw primarily white and black people in New York City. I don't remember ever seeing East Asian people. And so I really didn't have any understanding of these people, bias free of them. Okay, if you've never seen anybody of this culture. Oh, I mean, I think the movie Godzilla, remember that? Those movies, Godzilla? They did have Japanese people in that movie. But I didn't know who they were, anything like that. But I remember when I was looking at the book on Japan, I said to myself, and I never told anybody what I was saying, but I looked at it and I said, these are robot people. Robot people. I didn't see them as people, but robots. And I don't know why I said that. And the only thing I knew about robots, there was a movie that came out back in the late 60s, at least in the late 60s when I first saw the movie. This movie called Lost in Space, about I think the Robinson family, and they went out in space and they got lost. And they had a robot. And that's the only concept I had of a robot. The robot can talk, but it moved very robotic. And I knew it wasn't real. And then at that time, I'm looking at this book on Japan, and I looked at it, and these were people. And I said, these are robot people. They move everything about them was robotic. And again, I say that not to mock, but it was just what a thought of a little 6, 7-year-old girl was saying. Again, this is not to put down people from Japan, but it was just something that hit into my mind. And then now, and so I see this video. I'm going to share with you a little snippet. I'm not going to put any audio. You will see a closed caption on the bottom, and I hope you can see it. You'll see it's of a young man. He looks very young for his age, but it's a young man, and what he does. Okay, so I'm going to play the video now, and then after this snippet I'm going to comment, but try to be alert of what you see on the screen, okay? And the caption below. Here I go. It's not going to have any sound, but you're going to see the video. Here I go. Notice those statistics. Okay, they censored something there. See those girls? Okay, see on the bottom, the caption. This is the clock. You can talk to the clock. Give them the statistics for the day. Now it's on the train or a bus. So, what you just saw there was a young man getting ready to go to work or school or wherever. And he looks like a nice guy. And as you saw in the statistics, that most of the men and the women, 70% of men, unmarried men, and 60% unmarried women between the ages of 18 to 34 are in no type of relationship of any kind, according to the statistic that they just showed. Those ages, 18 to 34, are the prime ages for reproduction, but they're not reproducing. They're not in any type of relationship. And as you see here, in the picture to the two girls, now, I think the one on the right is a human, but the one on the left is a robot or something. Okay, but these are dressed as young girls, but they're sexualized. And that's what I also noticed in Japan, the advertisement using young girls, dressing them up as young schoolgirls. They may be of age, and then but they're sexualized. So you have people young people between the age of 18 and 34 gravitated to the devices, their cell phones, their computers, or an alarm clock, a virtual reality alarm clock, and it was of a young girl, school-age girl like that, very sexualized, to wake them up, to say nice things to them for the day. And you wonder, why is this happening? It's a very robotic society. And the book that I read was a book this might have been almost 50 years ago. It might have been 48 years ago. 48 years ago I saw this book. Here 48 years later to the present, and my thoughts and my impression was correct of a society who is dependent on their computers and looking and acting like a computer. Look at these girls. We are being encouraged to seek relationships with computers and are looking like one too and acting like one. So he asked me, so well, why, Spirit Journey, are you showing this video? Why you talk about these people? Well, I'm including myself in this also. That I get up, I go about my business, but I'm behind a terminal oftentimes. My devices, my iPhone, my iPad, etc. And I've never married and I have no children. Unlike these people in Japan. Yes, I'm from New York City, but my life is really not much different than that young man. He has everything going for himself. He dressed beautifully to work, as I did when I was his age. I dress accordingly. I have some education. But why aren't I in a relationship? Why wasn't I? Why didn't I marry? Well, I think I'm like Japan. And that you say to yourself, what do I need this relationship for? I see what's going on. I see people who tell each other, oh, I love you, and then they do something against you. I see people lying to one another. I see people hurting one another. I see society producing food that causes cancers. The world is toxic, and the people are becoming toxic to each other. I even met someone a couple of months ago. It was over the summer in 2018. I arrived at the park. It was a beautiful day. And I was to spend the whole afternoon in the park. Got my books to read. And I'm immediately approached by a man that was sitting nearby. It's another black fellow. And we speak for about 6 hours at the park. But something happens. This same type of glitch, as I call it, like what's happening in Japan, that you have everything going for yourself, but you can't seem to hook up. And my experience that happened over the summer is just reminiscent of this. Even though we speak for 6 hours about, from like, what was that, 11 o'clock, 11:30 to 6 p.m., we spoke about everything and anything. We're both veterans, we're both black, and we're both from the same town. I kid you not. But there was a glitch. That glitch that is so apparent in this society, and that's personally hitting me. Despite the fact that we talk about everything, and for the amount of time we spoke, when it came down to exchanging numbers, that's when the glitch happened. And I thought, we talked about everything. What happened? This person walks away like he had asked me out. And I said, sure. And I remember throughout the conversation for the 6 hours, he asked me 3 times in the course of 6 hours, do I want to go out with him? And I said, sure, it'd be fun. This man couldn't believe that I would say yes to him. And I even said at one point, towards the end, I said, hey, since we're already out here, why don't we go out for lunch now? Go out to eat now. And he said, oh, no, I can't do that right now. And he asked me for my number again. So I said, sure. I said, well, don't you have a cell phone also? Something like that, I said. And again, I'm talking to this guy for 6 hours, and I didn't think it was a problem for me to even ask. But he gets offended, and he says, well, I guess I'll see you next week, same time, same place. So I thought that was to say, okay, next week this time, we'll go out. This person never showed up. And I got the impression when he was walking away, he just walked away without turning back, without looking back. And I said, something is weird here. This guy had no intention of seeing me again. But what happened? The robotic society happened. That we don't know how to relate to one another. Black people don't know how to react and deal with one another. We seem better equipped at interacting with other groups, but not our own. That's what I'm picking up. And you don't have to be Japanese for this to happen. Just like in this video that I'm sharing with you. We're becoming dependent on our devices. And here, the thing I mentioned, I asked about the cell phone. And what I was trying to imply was, hey, get out your cell phone or your pen and paper and take down my number. But he wouldn't take it. And he just walks away. And this is a grown man. This is a grown man. And this happened just about maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago. See that? This society in America is turning like Japan. We don't know how to relate to our own, so we hide behind our devices. We don't talk to each other. And some societies even promote what looks like here, pedophilia, because you can't relate to your own age, your own adult age, like this man that I met over the summer. Yeah, we're hurting. I could tell this man was hurting that I talked to as he went away. When I look at this movie, these are hurting people. And they create, they create a fantasy world. So they won't deal with the pain. It deadens the pain. So I just want to share this. It's getting longer, this video, than I expected it to. But just be aware of what's going on. And try to say, enough is enough. Let me reach out to society. Let me reach outside of the cell phone, the iPads, and the like, and start reaching out to others. Okay? Each one teach one. And again, this is not to slam dunk Japan. This is an eye-opener, and an eye-opener to me as well, that you don't have to be Japanese and be a robot.